Lab Coat Agents, it's Tristan, and Nick is invisible. He's not on yet. Wait a second. Here he is. I'm promoting him to panelist. That's funny. He came in just in time.
I like that.
Here he is. I'm gonna make him a co-host and unmute it. All right, you can turn on your camera because it wasn't letting me. There you are. What's up, dude? We've got Daniel Ramsey with us. He's the CEO and co-founder, founder of My Outdesk. It's a virtual assistant company that's based here out of the United States, but all of their virtual assistants are in the Philippines. And I've been with them for about 3 years, super happy with them, and nothing but great things that I've got to say about them. Nick, I don't think you've used them yet, but you'd be super impressed as well. So happy to have you on. Daniel, we're going to talk about how people should be using VAs. And honestly, the 5 minutes I spent with you before this, I was already excited because I'm not even using my VAs that way. What comes to mind, and maybe it comes to mind to a lot of people that are going to be watching this, is the 4-hour work week. Right. When I think of a VA, I think of how can I delegate as much as I can that allows me to then prospect and focus on the things that are going to help me grow more, right? So that's really what we're going to cover. Nick, are you sharing this onto the group or should I?
Yeah, I'm silent because I can't do two things at once. I'm just sharing this webinar into our multiple social media channels here. Hold on a second.
Awesome. All right. So can you tell us a little bit about My Outdesk, when it started, why you started it, and then we'll get right into it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm a big fan of Lab Coat Agents. It's one of my favorite groups on Facebook. It's actually the only group that I actually read. And so that's an awesome shout out.
That's awesome, dude. Wait. We're going to replay that over and over and over in the group.
Well, you know what it is it's engagement, right? So people who want to grow are in that group, and that's what I'm just a big fan of growing. I was a real estate broker forever. I still am, licensed in 2004, built a millionaire real estate company, and then I had a need within my company back in 2007 actually, and that need was I couldn't get enough qualified people to help, and so I went to the Philippines, found one really talented person, and got another, and then got another. At some point, I'm building a company, and I've got 7 virtual assistants doing everything from, marketing pieces to helping on the listing side to, calling leads to doing my financials. And all of a sudden, all my friends, like you guys in the real estate space, were saying, "Hey, could you get me one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can get you one, but it's hard. And it's really difficult to find great talent there, and I've got to charge you something." And so that's how the business was started. It was, I'm a real estate broker. It was started for my company. I mean, we started doing this for me, and then all of a sudden other people started asking for it. So it just kind of worked in the group.
Oh, wow. And so when did you start this? 2000 and?
So I got licensed in 2004 as a broker, and then hired my first virtual assistant in 2007. So we're 10 years into this experiment called My Outdesk. And, there's a lot of
10 years.
What's cool about the audience, and if you're listening, dude, we've helped 4,000 real estate companies grow. Like no other virtual assistant company does what we do. We have a 20-person staff in the US. We use systems like Marketo and Salesforce, and we have like professional HR people helping us find talent. And I mean, what we're doing is we transform the industry, and we believe at some point in the near future, like in the next 5 years, every single real estate office is going to have some blended form of people. Some are going to be outsourced in the Philippines and around the world, and some are going to be physically in the office. The difference, though, is the only people that we need in the office are salespeople.
Got it. All right, that makes a lot of sense.
Daniel, it's interesting because a lot of people think My Outdesk and they only think phone calls, right? It's like they for some reason they think, oh, I don't, I have an in-house ISA. I don't need that. I'm like, yeah, but did you know?
Right.
that it's not just phone calls. Like, we have a My Outdesk virtual assistant. Her name is Jan, and she's a friggin' rock star. She makes all of our cool images for our webinar. She edits them all for us. Like, you know, she does our social media for some certain things. So it's like there are so many things you can have a VA for. Because before it was Tristan and myself doing it, and it was just forget it.
It wasn't fun, man. It was not fun.
Well, okay, so I love what you just said. First of all, if you're listening, we do marketing, we do operations, and we do sales. So there's 3 kind of avenues. Plus, what you guys just the guy Albert Einstein said the 8th wonder of the world.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy, Albert Einstein. He said that the 8th wonder of the world is compound interest. And what you guys just said was compound leverage. Once you hired Deanne, you gave her all the tasks of doing all that marketing, creating those flyers, creating those posts, and you guys never have to do that again. So for the rest of your career of running Lab Coats agents, you get compound leverage. You get that time back for the rest of your career. And that's what we do. This is like our special sauce. You come to us and say, look, I have a process, I have a system, and I need a person to plug into that system and do it so that I can give that task away for the next 30 years. And you get that time back, and you get to spend it with your family, maybe meeting more sellers, or go to the...
Well, Daniel.
By the way, oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's perfect for what transitioning over to what we're going to talk about, because you said it's good for people who have a system. So it's like a plug and play, because I've seen the biggest failures for using VAs is people who are just like, okay, hired a VA, now go do something. Right. Yeah. And that's, I think for me now, because I have experience, because I screwed the crap out of this the first few months, I realized, oh, okay. So if I'm going to hire a VA, I've got to slow down a little bit if I don't have a step-by-step process of what I want them to do.
So here's a beautiful thing. Replace VA with any person. If I'm going to hire any person, they need a job description with outcomes, a system to work in, and a clearly defined, like, this is what success looks like for this role. And too many times as real estate agents, we want to reinvent the wheel. We think everybody should be like us. You know, like, I'm just going to hire them and they're going to figure it out. That's just not going to, it just doesn't work like that.
How do we solve that then?
Well, you solve it by modeling. And I'm so glad that you asked that, because Tony Robbins says if you want to have success, you go find somebody who's already had that success and you model them. That is the definition of success, is you just find somebody else who's already crushing it. I mean, that's why this group exists, because there's somebody in this group that's killing it and doing exactly what you need to do. So you just go, you spend time with them, you find out what their process of the system is, and you R&D, you rip off and redistribute it inside your business. And so that's the how.
All right. So do you provide the how-to, like step-by-step, for newer agents, like agents that are just hiring a VA for the first time?
Yeah, you know, I have to be honest, new agents should not be hiring us. And I know that sounds crazy, because everybody, in fact, we get people who are unfortunately upset because we're like, hey man, you don't need a virtual assistant. You actually need to focus on learning how to prospect and learning how to close and learning how to, you know, do a P&L. You got to go and just focus on the basics. Our suggestion to them is to go into a coaching program and learn those skills, because, you know, what our target is folks who are making $200,000 a year in revenue. And we found that those people are the people that can actually be successful with leverage because they're ready for it.
Got it. Is that why you changed it from part-time to full-time?
Well, we eliminated part-time fully, because what we found is that agents who want to be part-time or go slow in this or try it out just didn't have the same level of success as people who already had a system, already had a process, and just plugged a virtual assistant into that. Those people are like, I want full-time. The part-time people are like, well, I just need a couple more listings, you know. So we've just found full-time, when you give somebody a goal and a challenge and a place to go and they can hit it, people get excited about that.
You want to give them direction.
Well, you know what I find interesting? Obviously when you guys took away part-time, we heard, people complaining about it, right, in the group and stuff. But I think, think of it like this way. I mean, part-time anything is not going to see results no one's going to see results with part-time anything. Part-time agents aren't going to see the same results as full-time agents. And if you look at it, I don't mean to bring up the Z word, but didn't Zillow start kind of focusing their model and their leads towards really super productive agents? A lot of the reasons why these vendors have a failure rate is because they're selling to the wrong person. They're selling to the wrong agent. If you're a part-time agent and you only want a part-time VA, you're going to see part-time results. And you guys want to be for the people that want to go all in. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And so if you have a part-time agent who's using your product and they're not using it to the fullest extent, on the flip side, the vendor's going to feel the heat on that. And it's, for everyone involved, it's not the best scenario.
Well, you know what we've done, like I said in the beginning, we've done this 4,000 times. We've helped 4,000 agents. And what was happening is our clients who had part-time people were not experiencing the same results as the full-time people. They weren't as happy as the full-time people. And we were having challenges in churning those people up because the VAs were just not, the VAs themselves weren't happy. I think you need one master in life. You need one goal. You need one thing. And to that end, if you're a newer agent and you need help, I believe you can do the transaction coordination and listing coordination, and your marketing, you can pay third-party outsourcers and get more benefit from that because it's a per transaction thing. So when you have business, that's how you should outsource when you're small, under 200,000. Once you get enough traction, once you get enough revenue and you need a full-time assistant doing your admin, that's when you come to us. And that is the smartest, the most cost-efficient way of growing. Your first hire is a CRM, your second hire should be a coach, and your third hire should be a mentor. Those are, boom.
Okay, can you repeat that so I can write it into the thread here?
Oh, I love it. Okay, so your first hire is a CRM because we're a sales organization, nothing more. Without it, you're not.
CRM?
Yeah.
CRM?
Yes.
Okay. First hire is a CRM then?
Then a coach. You're brand new. You don't know what to do. I was talking to this pilot. He was a guy who wanted to hire us, and he was a really intelligent guy. He owned his market. There were 500 homes. He had 30% of the market in his area. He was a listing guy. He wrote blogs because he was an appraiser too, and he was a stud, but he just didn't know what his next step was.
Got it.
You don't hire us. You're super talented. You know exactly what you're doing. But instead of 500 homes, your farm needs to be 5,000 homes. And you need a coach to help pull you through this process. You need to get a mentor too. If your broker is not acting as that, it's time to find somebody who can act as that. And so it was really great. He went away and 6 months later, I hooked him up with a coach. I hooked him up with some strategy stuff. And dude, I just checked in with him last week and he's like, dude, Daniel, this was the best advice I've ever gotten. And I think that's really important. If you're new, look for mentors, get a coach, buy that CRM, start pounding the phone, get a dialer. Visvo's expired. Hit them.
All right. So Daniel, you showed me some amazing stuff 5 minutes before this. And I wanted you to save it for this because the biggest challenge I had after I figured out what system to use for my VA is, okay, well, now that I've got this going, I wanted to see what other people were using VAs for because I may be missing out. And I think that's the beautiful part because you're going to be showing us what other people are using VAs for. They're not just using them to call expireds or circle prospecting. They're using them sometimes for marketing and sometimes for tracking. And I thought to me, that was the beautiful part, the tracking. I was like, oh, that's
why was it beautiful to you, Tristan? What happens for you? Because I think everybody that's listening, I want to tell you what you're going to get. First of all, we're going to share some tracking spreadsheets. We're going to share the path that My Outdesk is designed from zero, meaning you're a brand new agent, to netting $1 million. So we've got these stages. We're going to talk through that really quick. I'm going to show you some tracking stuff. I'm going to show you some kind of ways to use a virtual assistant. We're talk through some like lead generation opportunities with a virtual assistant. That's what this call is going to be about. But as we dive in, what made you go, wow, Tristan, when you saw that?
So by nature, I'm not an analytical, right?
Right.
So my tracking is more like 3 lines, right? How much money I made and where it came from, and then the total.
My tracking is, okay, what's my commission on this house?
So when you pull up your tracking sheet, which is, I've seen tracking sheets like that, but you just open up my mind to like, oh wait, I've already got 2 VAs with my outdesk. Why don't I just use one of them to do this part-time on, right? And the other part of the time she can do what she's already doing. So, dude, whatever you want to share first, but I'd like to see that first.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see that first. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. So this is from one of our clients. She gave me permission to share it. But this specifically is the 2017 revenue tracking, lead tracking, referral tracking spreadsheet. One challenge, and I know this because I've had Boomtown, I've had a bunch of other kind of lead generation sites, is that their job is to bring you leads, but their job is not to track the productivity of your agents or even the dollars from those leads, right? And so that's the challenge with being a real estate broker is like, you need to know where your money's coming from, what lead sources, and which agents in your office are the most productive in actually creating that income for you. Because, that's the name of the game. We're a sales organization as real estate folks, and we're capacity driven. You add one more listing agent and you increase the number of leads, you grow your,
Yeah.
So here's the total revenue. And what I love is it's volume, units, commission earned.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, brother, I can.
Thanks, bro.
All right, let's do 300%. See what happens there.
Love it. Now
Okay.
I feel like I'm young again.
Yeah, you don't need glasses. So total production, they're tracking their total production in terms of units, volume, and commissions driven. Obviously, this is one of the larger clients. They're doing 2.3, and they've got all of their commission for 2017. And what's great is they've kind of, because it's towards the end of the year, they've already projected how much revenue they're going to drop into their bank account for December due to properties that are pending and or active. Right?
Let me pause you, because some people out there are thinking, wow, this is cool. How do I do this? And some people are like, yeah, tracking's cool, but maybe it's not for me. To me, I always remember when I think of my outdesk, I think of the 4-hour work week every time. It's like, for me, they're like synonymous. The whole book revolves around outsourcing everything that you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So that you could grow, because your job is to lead, to have that vision, right? And to continue that growth. And as soon as you create a system, or as soon as you have an idea, have someone else put it into place so that it continues to go. Because this is beautiful, man. I love this. Now I can go and check. I can see that September was freaking amazing, and so was July. Yeah. And I can be like, okay, well, what propelled it? I'd like to see where we got our leads from and other details that I just don't know.
Right. And here's the point, right? I want to help everybody with that mindset. Why do I need to track? Why should I do this? I want you to notice the year-to-date total commission, $2.3 million. This lady is dropping $2.3 million into her bank account that's a phenomenal tracking. So wherever you are today, if you want to get to the point where you're netting $1 million in your business, like, this is one of the paths. You've got to track where your revenue comes, and you've got to, and really you need to track whether it's buyer or seller or rental. Like in her case, she does a bunch of vacation rentals. The other thing is you've got to track, maybe this isn't awesome for you, but here's something that could be, right? This is all of the referrals that they've received, and also all of the in-house kind of special promotional things that they've done as a company. So
hold on. I see that I love you a latte, which is cool.
Yeah.
I Love You a Latte 2016.
Yes.
They had 89 guests, and from that, 29 referrals.
That's right. And the agent got 10 referrals. So this is the referrals are how many the office got, and then how the agent is, and I replaced her name with agent just because.
Well, I already know who it is because I Love You a Latte and Zootopia movie gave it away for me.
Yeah. Well, but the point is, here's what's beautiful, right? So in the 2 years, they've had 700, this number right here, 795 referrals and in-person conversations with guests and possible referrals, previous clients, everybody who matters within their business. And what's great about it is this is 100% ran by their virtual assistants. So just like Yan for Lab Code Agents creates the flyers and puts the social media posts and edits all the videos and is helping us even with this, like Yan put on my calendar the link for this call so that I knew what to push, and then sent me an email. Hey, Daniel, here's the link. Here's what you're going to share. This is the topic. And then I get to come in and just focus on my job, which is talking to you guys and helping you understand some of the different ways you can use a virtual assistant.
We have a question here. It says, Philip Milan says, can we talk a little bit about December, ? A lot of agents are 10-month agents and shut down for the last 2 months of the year. Can we talk about shifting the mindset for waiting on a VA till the start of the year? Oh, so he's saying, why wait until the start of a year to get a VA? You should be getting one now to plan. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
What do you think about that, Tristan? Maybe.
Oh, man, look, after I read the 4-Hour Work Week, I rethought just how I was processing my whole business. It's like, look, my specialty and most agent specialties, unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, we're not good at organizing stuff. Nick, you and I suck at organizing everything, right?
Wait, what are we talking about?
You see that?
So yeah, so I've just embraced the fact I'm not the organizational type whatsoever. I'm a high I. I want to be out there in front of people. I want to be on social media. I want to be, negotiating offers. I want to be with people. That's my specialty. My wife is like the most organized person you'll ever meet, and the two of us get along so well because we're total opposites. Tristan and I are the same person. That's why nothing gets done with Lab Codes. No, we're the same person. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge with most realtors, man. And the fact is, once you realize that this is not your specialty, and your specialty is going out and prospecting, that's where the money is. That's what we should be focusing on. Yeah. Then you realize, wow, how can I create an atmosphere where I have a VA or delegate some of the stuff that I don't do. And so I always need to delegate, and I don't want to delegate it to like my wife or to someone that's in my family. Cause then when I take time off, she's still going to be working. Right.
That's right.
It just doesn't make sense for me. So I want to be able to have someone there that I can delegate to, and I know it's going to work well. Right. And honestly,
I delegated to my wife, but we work together.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you are. Okay, so this is good. I mean, this is just some examples, right? So there's some production goals with some spreadsheets and like what's happened. And then there's some listing goal stuff where you've got graphs and charts. I can tell you right now, this agent is up significantly in the last 5 years because she's implemented virtual assistants to do, like you both just said, all of the administrative, all of the marketing, all of the lead generation stuff, all of the spreadsheet creation, all of the financials, everything that isn't meeting with clients and prospecting, she's delegated down. In fact, to the point where she's no longer in production. So
that's the beautiful part, man. We have Prabjit Singh is asking, can you share these Excel spreadsheets?
Yeah, no worries. And these aren't something special. What we'll do is, as a link, I'll go back into Lab Codes and then put a couple spreadsheets in there with what you should be tracking. I just wanted to pull up some information that you guys actually that we use here at my Outdesk as an example. Here is a phone dialer system. So we've exported all of the dials, the calls, the conversations, the sales, the placements. And so I only bring this up because this is an example of how we run our sales organization. And I think you guys might find value in look at some of these numbers. I'll give you an example right here. We've got Shay, who actually is a Filipino, one of our basically our consultants. So she'll answer any questions and walk you through spreadsheets. If you guys wanted to go and kind of check out our website and request a consultation, this is another thing that we could talk about. But she made 516 calls. So that's how many calls she made last month. And then she had 116 conversations. And we've had 148 consultations with real estate agents as an entire company last month. So this is just another example. The first tracking spreadsheet that I shared was specific to production and revenue and leads. This one is specific to what the phone system you use. You need to export that and get the dial information so you can see who's productive and not productive on your team.
Got it, man. Say hi to Instagram.
Dude, you just kicked me off. I was doing a live Instagram. You just kicked me off.
Oh, well, geez, I didn't even know. I just put a hat on Daniel Ramsey here.
Dude, whatever you do, don't put the dog ears. You know,
I put a top hat.
Dude, I was getting engagement and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll go off. You can jump on. Hold on.
We share the Lab Coats Instagram account.
Yeah. So Daniel, look, you have a sheet there that also impressed me, which is like a lot of us have the CRM, whether it's Commissions Inc., Boomtown, Lopo, Follow Up Boss, whatever we use. A lot of it says it tracks, but for me using Commissions Inc. for 3 years, 3.5, 4 years, and using Follow Up Boss for longer, it tracks, but there's a lot of pieces that are missing. Can you show me?
A lot of things fall through the cracks.
Exactly. Can you show me what you just showed me, that spreadsheet that was so beautiful?
Yeah, sure. We can bring it back on. And I want to be specific.
The one with the lead count, dude. That was sexy.
The lead count?
Yeah. You said it should, how many leads? There you go. Something like that.
No, it's this one right here. So, okay, real quick, if you're listening, what should you track versus what shouldn't you track? It's really important, number one, that you track all your leads coming through the door and whether or not they get conversations and how quickly they come through the door. We call it speed to lead. That is a simple thing. You've got to know when a lead comes in the door to the point where a lead closes or has a consultation, or in your guys' case, a listing presentation or a buyer presentation where they're signing a contract. So the speed to lead is the number one thing. Also, the number of dials and conversations that your individual salespeople, whether they're buyer agents or listing agents, are having on a daily basis. That's super important. And this is an example of just pulling the back end of our phone system and putting everybody in one spreadsheet and comparing apples to apples. Like Paul right here, he is one, he did 238 calls, which is significantly less than everyone else, but his sales numbers were higher. So he's having less conversation, but having a higher result. So if you're not looking at what the phone system says and the end result of the year or the month or the quarter or whatever, you might not have all the information. So you got to pull that into one spreadsheet.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I felt like a student there for a second. I have a question. Here's my question, because I love that graph. The biggest challenge I find, though, is having my agents actually put in all that information. So how do we have our VA do that? Are they in charge of like calling all of our agents saying, hey, you didn't put in your numbers, or give me your numbers? Because I want this to be as accurate as possible, but I'm having that challenge, man. What does the VA do there?
Yeah, that is such a, okay, so there's two things. I want to first attack the mindset. If in our company, it took a long time, a lot of coaching. If it's not done inside the dialer, it didn't happen. So if you're using your cell phone or some other thing, it just didn't happen unless we use Ring Central on your phone, which you can do. So if you're tied to a phone, you can log into Ring Central and dial inside Ring Central on your phone. And then our virtual assistants can pull that data on the back end and create the spreadsheet. And then on top of it, in Commissions Inc. or Boomtown or whatever lead platform, Ylopo, they're going to have a CSV export file that you can export all the leads, all their contacts, all the information. So you can throw that into a spreadsheet. So now you've got MLS where you can export all of your volume, and then you can do a match back to all of those different lead sources. And also so you got an activity spreadsheet, how many are my agents all calling? Then you have the MLS data, which is how many people won, like who was getting a listing and closing a listing. And then you have how many leads came in the door. And with those 3 data points, you can track for a whole year, and you can start looking at trends. And once you start building trends, you can find out, and I want to go back to Philip's question, you can find out if you're a 10-month agent or a full 12-month agent. And what I mean by that, when I was selling real estate, November and December was the best months we always had. And I don't know if that's your experience, Tristan, because
that's been my experience too, man. December, it's already starting actually for us.
Yep.
We're crushing this month, and it's so I know my December is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, and you know why? Because your team doesn't stop. And so if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to take off Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all those months, then, maybe a virtual assistant isn't for you. But if you're one of those agents that just keeps hustling and takes a vacation and wants the tracking and administrative stuff and all the marketing stuff done, that's how we can help. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it totally answers it, man. So, okay. Nick, do you have any questions? Are we back on Instagram?
No, you want me to put us back on there?
You put a little hat on yourself.
Okay, I'll do it.
I've got another thing to share with you guys.
Yeah, no, I want to see that spreadsheet type thing you showed that showed the progression from an agent going from the beginning all the way to a millionaire agent, and that was beautiful. Can you please share that?
Yeah, here, before I do, I just want to tell everybody, so we've created a couple things. One is the 7-figure agent map. So we've mapped out the process from 0 to being a multimillionaire in the real estate process. And then we've created something called Business in the Box. Lab Coat Agents is in that, where we've partnered with vendors where you can get a CRM, you can get a dialer, you can get FSBO, an expired system. And we've done webinars on how to use those tools. So when you become a client, not only do you get a map, which is exactly what I'm going to share right here, but you also get all the systems and tools that we believe you're going to need in order to make this journey from brand new, which is what a solopreneur is, all the way to a visionary where you're a world-class professional and you're making multiple millions a year in terms of revenue. So what's interesting about this is the path is very clear. It's very easy, and we define it as like how many transactions you do, what your revenue is, what your volume is. So volume's a part of that measure. And then we've got challenges, what it feels like, how you know you made it, and then at the bottom, core drivers. And core drivers are like, what do I need to do to master this stage to then jump to the next stage? So wherever you are in your journey to being a real estate entrepreneur, we can actually help you get from where you are today to the next step with either virtual systems, the systems and process through our vendor program like Business in a Box, or leverage or just strategy stuff. But what you have to do is get a consultation to go through this process.
Got it. Okay, so can you tell us what's different with the way that you handle VAs versus other companies? Because one of the biggest fears I had, and I still have when finding a VA, is I'm not sure if they're going to be working all the time. That's my biggest fear. Not so much the accent or whether or not they know exactly how to function on my team, because I can show them that. The accent in my area in LA, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. But for me, are they working? are they working the full 20 or 40 hours, right?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Well, I think you nailed it. That's one of the biggest objections that we hear is like, how do I hold my virtual assistant accountable? When you go through the 7-figure agent map, what we're going to do is we're going to define some outcomes, 3 outcomes, right? We're going to say, Tristan, you want somebody to help you create all those spreadsheets, build out your measurements, and have some statistical data about your sales organization. Like, what are people doing on the phone? What does it look like? These are the 3 things that I want to start tracking. And then we'll get you those spreadsheets in addition to those 3 things. And then the way you know that they did work is they create the spreadsheet, and then you can see the results, and you check the results, and you're like, okay, this is done. Now I'm good. That's outcome number 1. What's outcome number 2? Maybe all your transaction coordination. What's outcome number 3? All of your listing marketing program, like everything you need in order to market all your listings. So those would be the 3 outcomes. And that's how we would know that the virtual assistant is actually working towards your goals, right? We set those expectations. We know exactly what it means to be successful. That's number 1. Number 2, and this is a really cool thing, we have a system that does time tracking, screenshots. We know if they're on their original registered computer. We know if they're at the same IP. So if they move locations to another place, we know.
Oh.
All of this gets compiled into a database that our clients have access. It's like a client portal where you can pull screenshots. You can see what their activity is. I can see what websites they went to. I know how much time they spent on Instagram or Facebook watching this. So we developed internally a software program that actually functions to help you hold them accountable. So that's the number 2 way. And then the number 3 way is that, and you've probably seen these, Tristan and Nick, we do start of day and end of day reports.
Yeah, I love those.
That are compiled every single day. So they list out everything that they do and how long they did it and what the outcomes were. And then it goes to the next day where they input what wasn't done, and then you can go. So if you need to, you can go through every single start of day and end of day report for your virtual assistant and say, gosh, those 20 tasks got done today. That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually looking one up.
Did you say that you have a system you have a system that can show you when the VAs are actually working?
Yeah, no. So in order to get paid, they have to log in. It's a time tracking kind of security thing. So yeah, we internally built that.
So you can tell when they are supposed to be on the clock and they're looking at YouTube videos.
Yeah, if they're on YouTube all day, we know it. And we know how long
unless that's their job. But the fact of the matter is, unless I hire a VA to watch kitty cat videos playing the piano, they shouldn't be doing that. And you can tell when they're doing that, when they're not doing what they should be. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, and all of this, and we haven't even touched on the other systems. We've got this matching process that's nuts. If you want to hire someone who's a data person, we're going to go find a data person. We're going to find somebody with Excel spreadsheet. Maybe they have a certification, they have a college degree in that kind of stuff, and they have previous experience doing it. So we call it the 3 E's. On top of that, we're doing a personality profile. We're making sure they have an FBI grade background check. All of this stuff, checking their English, their writing skills, their speaking skills, making sure their internet is 5 Mbps or higher. So we are the easy button for leverage and talent for the real estate world. That's what we do. That's our value proposition.
Got it.
And that's why we exist.
All right. So question, Nick, do you have a question?
No, I was just saying that. Well, I just want to go back real quick. So, I just want a quick question.
I'm laughing at the GIF you just sent me.
It's interesting, a GIF. We're GIFing. Daniel, it's not about you. It's about something else.
It's not about you, buddy.
This is what we do all day. I'm amazed that we're on this webinar right now. I was going to say that when you sign up for MOD, you're saying that you kind of, let's say I sign up and I didn't have any of these systems, right? Because I know a lot of these companies, they're like, okay, you're starting with your VA now. And they're like, do you have your Vulcan account? And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So when you sign up for the MOD, it's kind of like, you don't have Vulcan? No problem. You don't have Mojo? No problem. You guys can make that happen for us? Because I know a lot of companies are like, I have to go run around in circles to get all these things set up. but not with MOD. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, and I'm even saying it differently. Like, here, let me share. Again, I'm going to share my screen. I feel like a screen whore right now.
You are. Can you feel it?
Yeah. So we have.
Show us your gifts, Daniel.
Yeah. I'm going to text you guys after this. So we have some channel partners.
Hey, I know that one company, Lab Coats.
There it is. And so we have these partnerships where Active Rain will give you a deal. FirePoint, which is a CRM that automates all of your
FirePoint's awesome.
RealVolve is another great one. Here's Sales Dialer. So, and we just did a webinar yesterday on this. If you're hand dialing in real estate, like you're basically going to get 20 to 25 calls an hour. But if you implement a 3 or 4 line dialer, you're going to make it 100 or 200 an hour. And that just means you're going to be more effective at what you do. And their system is slick and awesome for actually causing increases in performance. Listings to Lead, owned by Scott Pierce. He's one of my favorite people in the world. If you want to automate all of your marketing on the listing side, they do it beautifully. It's inexpensive. We've got so all of these people, they've given us a 90-day free trial. Land Voice, they have 12,000 current clients. They're the oldest provider of FSBOs expired, circle dialing. Top Producer, another one. We've got a consulting company. So we've got all of these systems and processes that we've created tie-ups, and it's like almost $2,500 worth of value when you sign up for a virtual assistant with us, and we're going to give you a 90 days free trial on. So it's a pretty nutty thing.
That's cool, dude.
That's part of the business in the box, right?
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Nick, you have anything else?
Dude.
All right. So here's go ahead.
Are we done? Because I got one more marketing thing.
No, I'm not done, but go ahead.
Actually, no, I have to jump off in 6 minutes to get my son from school, but we're not done.
Okay. What were we going to say? Go ahead, Tristan. Sorry.
Show us your thing.
He's like, no.
I actually forgot. It was a really good thought, but I'll come back to it, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Hey, I have a question or a comment. It's pretty amazing. Like I said, we have Yan as our VA. I mean, it's interesting. It's amazing. Like the VAs, I mean, they're actually really talented, like people think, oh, I don't want someone overseas, but I mean, there are some really talented ones with graphic design and, social media. I mean, it's kind of blowing my mind a little bit, just how good they really are.
That's so true.
Well, thank you guys. I'm gonna now take that and record it over and over and over.
Well, dude, the intro that you guys made for us, that was sick.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna post that up right now. That was the sickest intro.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a really great graphics team. Yan's amazing. Nick, to speak to that, when you come and do a consultation with us, we're going to take you through the 7-figure agent map. We're going to find out exactly where you are in the world, right? Where you want to go. Then we're going to create some outcomes. And then we're going to take those outcomes and we're going to go into the marketplace in the Philippines, and we're going to find somebody that has experience, they have training, they have a proven track record with those outcomes. The reason Yan is so good at what she does is that she has experience. She's been doing it forever. All we've done is taken her and dropped them onto lab code agents and said, here, we got somebody for you. And our value proposition is getting as close as possible to those outcomes of our clients, just like we did with you guys. So, I mean, that's the world that we have. Okay.
I'm putting it up here.
All right, I've got 2 things to show you guys.
Show us.
Yep. Okay, so this, right now, you can see the screen. These are all and I'm sharing internal stuff with you guys because I hate people who, well, first of all, I don't like companies that say we can do it, but they've never actually done it. I'm a real estate broker. My outdesk is for real estate brokers. And this is advertising that we've created within our company for the real estate world. So when I say advertising, these are webinars that we've done, testimonials or interviews, ads that we've posted, other kind of documents. You can see Final Vision from Dan. So our company Vision is created. And this is all of our Facebook web blog images. And if you slide to To the left, we've got other stuff here, brochure, our slides, and just a bunch of other stuff. So all of our marketing for the entire year is in this one spreadsheet. And all of our marketing team works inside this spreadsheet. So when I want to find a video or a brochure or something, I just go here, click on the hyperlink, and then I have it. And so one challenge.
Wait, who organized this all for you?
Our virtual assistants. Yeah.
Nick. Is Yan watching this? Yan, are you watching this?
Wait, go back to that for a second.
Dude.
Go back to that screen for a second.
That's sick.
So this is basically organizing.
That's all of their marketing on one. What is this? Is like Google Sheets?
No, it's a Google Doc, yeah. But it's all there along with the systems that we use, along with all the tasks that we've assigned to the marketing team. It's basically a who does what by when. So if you're a real estate agent and you've got like a million ideas, like Tristan and I, Nick, we got all kinds of ideas, right? Well, you have to organize those ideas into a spreadsheet or into a Gantt chart or into some sort of a way for your employees to systematically go at it, or otherwise you're going to overwhelm them, right? And so we've created this spreadsheet to just keep track of all of our advertising, all of the webinars that we've done, all of the images that we've created, all of the posts that we have.
What do you call that? Is that like, let's see, marketing, daily tasks, systems, and collaterals?
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Texting my operations manager.
So,
Don't you have to leave, Nick?
Yeah, I got to go pick up my kid at school because I can't tell my wife that I was on a webinar, and that's why Levi's standing outside on the street. So,
okay, dude, see you, man. I'm almost done anyway.
Dude, this is amazing, and I love it, and I'll watch the last 10 minutes later.
All right, boss.
Sounds good, man.
Later, guys.
See you, bro. Dude, that in itself, the organization on that one is sick. What else do you want to show us?
Well, I only have a couple more things, but this is an example of Nolly. I love this guy. He's one of our favorite.
Dude, we love Nolly.
Yeah, he's great, man. And I asked him permission to share this, but this is his pre-listing package. So this is an example of one thing that you might, as a real estate broker or agent, put on your spreadsheet that we just shared, right? So one of my favorite things that he does so freaking well is a positioning paper. And what I love about Nolly too is if you don't have this kind of marketing collateral, you can just buy his and edit and adjust it for your company. So, here's the question. What percentage of asking price do you average on your listing? Nolly's answer, 98.4. Other agents' correct answer should be 96%. The thing, you're laughing because nobody ever is going to get a 10 out of 10 because guess what? Nolly has all of these things.
So they created this pre-listing packet for him?
Yeah, and this is Nolly's pre-listing package. And what's even more awesome is that
that's smart.
Whenever he wants an adjustment, they make the adjustment, our virtual assistant. And on top of that, Nolly has his sellers fill out all of the work. So one thing, when we started this, we talked about, how can you automate using a virtual assistant, right? Uh-huh. Well, Nolly's even used his clients to do some of the work. When you go through a house and you've got to fill out all the information about a house, well, he calls it homework and he gives it to the client and makes them fill it out before the listing appointment, and the virtual assistant will gather that information, build out the listing, load it into DocuSign, get it ready in MLS, get the appraiser, do all that process behind the scenes. So Nolly just shows up to the listing and says, "Hi, I'm Nolly. You want to list? Here's the sign." And he answers questions and whatever. So I really, in this conversation, I wanted to focus on, it doesn't always have to be a virtual assistant, but your virtual assistant can do the majority of the heavy lifting when it comes to listing and selling real estate.
So all this paperwork, like creating a listing presentation for us, creating pre-listing presentation, a buyer's packet, PowerPoints for us. They could create really everything that we spend so much time stressing over. Daniel, can they create my next Lab Coat Agents presentation?
Are you making a request?
I don't know. Maybe. Depends what your answer is.
Well, we can talk about it, right?
That's the best, dude.
Is that a good answer?
That
But
was
hey,
great.
we've got so all of this. What is our landing page for you guys? Because I know that there are going to be people who watch this whole thing.
Yeah, a lot of people want all the downloads, or where do they go? What website do they go to?
Well, that's a great question. We have, let's see. I know we have our partners.myoutdesk.com/LCA. It looks like here. Let me share this real quick.
Yeah, see if you can put it on, because I asked Yan to do it, but I'm not. I know she did it, but I'm not sure where she put it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's where you would, and you guys can see my screen. Yep. Here's where you would go to register. We have a special offer with Lab Coat agents. So when you get, you're going to get a little bit of discount on our setup fee. And all you need to do, you're going to get the business in a box. So we've got all of these great partners right here. And we're giving it around, it's like $2,500 worth of value. I mean, we're giving you more value for just giving us a call, having a conversation. Again, we're going to walk through the journey from zero to putting $2 or $3 million in the bank every year, and figure out where you are, talk about what obstacles need to change, who do you need to hire, what needs to shift in your business to cause that growth. We know what you're going through. We know exactly what would take you to the next level. And really the only risk you have is register at the website and raise your hand and say, okay, I'll listen to these guys. Maybe they can help me. And that's it, man. I mean, it's a very
Perfect. That was a lot, man. I'm just putting in that link. Let's see, HTTPS partners /myoutdesk.com/LCA. I think I got it right. Can you put it up there one more time just to make sure? Because it doesn't look like it's showing the link on my end.
Sure. Let me.
I just want to make sure we got it all right before we wrap up.
Yeah, that's smart. But dude, the other thing is, if you just go to our website,
What's the main website? Myoutdesk.com?
Yeah, myoutdesk.com. Say request.
Perfect. I'll just do that right now. I'll just put that on there. That's so much easier.
Yeah. But
all right, everyone, go to myoutdesk.com. Check them out. Myoutdesk.com. There it shows up. Perfect.
Yeah.
Daniel, any closing statements, man?
Well, yeah, here's the most important thing. Lab coats, we do have a special deal, so make sure you say you came from Tristan and Nick so that we're clear about where you come. We've got a special pricing on our setup fee, plus all that business in a box. And all you need to do, we shared 3 spreadsheets, right? The phone system spreadsheet, we shared the lead spreadsheet, and then we shared the production spreadsheet. So those are the 3 spreadsheets that we shared. So if you need them, we have them. We'll be happy to give them to you and talk through how to use them.
Last question. How did you come up with what was it, in a box? What did you say?
Business in a box?
Yeah, business in a box. How did you come up with that name?
Why do you ask?
I don't know. It just sounds interesting. It's memorable. But
yeah.
just saying.
Well, we were, and it wasn't me, it was somebody in our marketing department. He's a really talented dude. And he's like, God, it's like we have everything you need to be successful. It's like, it's almost like it's everything in one box. And then and he came up with a business in a box name, and it's really true, because look, we provide the leverage so we can help you with the people you need. Sure. Our consultation will give you the strategy, make sure your outcomes are good, share with you whatever spreadsheets you're lacking. And then with business in a box, we know the companies that you ought to be using, and we can plug you into one of them at a pretty decent discount, giving you 90 days for free for most of them.
It's catchy, man. That's why I was asking. Yeah. It's pretty catchy. It's easy to remember, and it explains what it is. So
yeah, I love it, man. Well, thank you so much, Tristan. As always, dude, I love you. I love the group, and we're always here to help.
The same, dude. All that love back to you, and we love all the VAs that we have. So thank you to Yan and to Pauline. We love both of them a lot.
Yeah.
So
okay.
thanks, man. See you, bro.